Cups of mic's gone.
Just in case.
And I might need another bottle. You never know. At least with the dinner I will. Welcome. This is Perfectly Paired with Chef Jim May from Papapietro Perry Winery. And today we're going to do a festive gratin, which is a classic dish with cheese and cream. But we're going to do it to pair with our Pinot Noir from Sonoma Coast 2017. It's going to be made with sweet potatoes, a local made cheese, which we are very fond of at the winery. It's made by Laura Chanel, and seasonally she does a cranberry and cinnamon cheese, and we're going to incorporate that into the sauce along with a garnish of pomegranate seeds and parsley, so it's all this red and green and Christmassy and seasonal, and it's super easy and super elegant. So what we're going to start with is sweet potatoes. It's different than a yam. A yam is going to be the white one. These are going to be the garnet or jewel, and you need probably about 4 of them, about 3 pounds, medium size. And all you do is peel them very easily. If you have a mandolin, you can get very inexpensive ones, plastic ones. I happen to have a metal one, which is a little heavier duty. But you can take this, you take off the ends, this way, and then you slice it, starting with the fat end, about an 1/8 inch thick. So you go, and each of these potatoes, there's going to be about 4 of them, is going to be 1 layer in the gratin dish. Really easy, especially with this. If you're good with a knife, you can do it, but this is a little bit quicker. And you have all these guys here to go with this. But this is 1 potato, and I'm going to show you, you kind of layer it, overlapping. Let's get these all nice and there'll be, if it's a 9 by 13, which I recommend, it's going to be about 4 rows. And so you're going to have 4 layers, each with a little bit of the cream sauce. So we have the first layer down. What we're going to do now is make the base of the cream sauce. I've got 3/4 of a cup of cream, heavy whipping cream, 3/4 of a cup of milk. I'm going to put that in a medium saucepan. I'm going to add a clove of garlic, and I'm going to add 2 tablespoons of honey. And you can eyeball this, and that's like 1, here's 2. And you're going to bring this just to a simmer, and just to incorporate, to cook a little bit of that garlic out. And then once the simmer is done, we're going to add goat cheese. The goat cheese here is covered in cranberries. Like I said, if you can get the Laura Chanel, we use that a lot with our wine, chocolate and cheese at the winery. It's seasonal, it's fun to get, but it's going to be not as common as some other cranberry ones this time of year. But you're going to cut this up into pieces. Once this comes to a simmer, we're going to add this, melt it, and start layering our gratin. The cheese that we prefer at the winery is the Laura Chanel goat cheese, but any goat cheese will suffice. If you can find it with cranberries, great. If not, you get this cheese. It's an 8-ounce log. You chop up some dried cranberries, about 1/3 of a cup. Just mix it together, and when you melt it into the cream sauce, it'll be just as good as anybody's that's already made. Now, the cranberries in the goat cheese goes with our, to me, the 2017 Sonoma Coast. It's one of our 10 designations. The Sonoma Coast is cooler, has a longer, cooler growing season, has a little more bright acid, had a little more, to me it's got that red fruit, that pomegranate, that cranberry, raspberry, so that the sauce kind of bridges with all that fruit with the wine. And it is one of my favorites. I got married 4 years ago, and the wine at our wedding was the Sonoma Coast. One of my favorites. Okay, so the cream has come to a simmer. Turn it off before it boils over. I'm going to put all this cheese, 8 ounces of cheese with the cranberries. Just add it to it. It'll take about 1 or 2 minutes. Stir it, and it'll melt. I'm going to try it as it does it. It's going to need a couple teaspoons of salt and a teaspoon of pepper. I'll put that in now. 2 teaspoons of salt, teaspoon of pepper. And once this melts, we're going to start the layering. I'm going to just make it easy and pour it into. Oh, that's good. Cranberries give it just a little bit of sweetness that plays with the fruit and the wine. Let's get this in here. Get every last drop out of it. Like I said, even if you don't like goat cheese, this just kind of tempers the goat cheese, the goaty flavor. It makes it a really elegant. So I'm going to take the first, there's going to be almost 4 cups of liquid here with the cheese. And I'm going to put just a little bit just to cover it, about a cup on each layer. And then keep layering. Like I said, there'll be 4 layers. If you get a medium size yam or sweet potato. Like I said, this is good for New Year's. It's good, really good for Christmas because it's going to have that nice red and green. And if you're having a nice small family meal, our Sonoma Coast is a blend of 4 Sonoma Coast vineyards, and it's a little bit different blend every year, but it's consistent. When I try the Sonoma Coast next to, say, we have a Russian River, it exhibits all those Sonoma Coast characters. It's got a little more minerality. Like I said, the fruit's a little more bright red compared to Russian River, which is more dark cherry. They're all good. I'm going to do one more layer here. Come here. Now, in the meantime, I have taken a half a cup of panko, melted 2 tablespoons of butter, and that's going to be the top of this. I'm preheating the oven to 325. I'm going to cover this with foil. And put it in the oven for 45 minutes before I uncover it, and give it another 45 minutes. And it'll be nice and soft and tender. I'll even eat these guys here. And the remaining right on top. Cranberries and all, that gives it the fun part. Put this last bit of the panko, sprinkle it on. We're going to put it on there till it gets like a little golden brown. Like I said, this has been mixed with 2 tablespoons of butter. Just going to spread it around, make it even. Foil goes on top. And so we have the dish covered in foil. The oven's at 325. We're going to put in the casserole in the middle of the oven for 45 minutes. Then we're going to take the foil off and give it another 45 minutes until it gets nice and brown and bubbly around the edges. And while we're waiting, we'll have wine. So after an hour and a half, double check on it. And this is 45 minutes uncovered, and it's got a little golden brown, bubbly around the edges. It's a gorgeous little thing to set on the table. Keeps warm for 15 to 30 minutes, so you don't have to rush if you're going to do the rest of the meal. It's real hot now, but as it cools, it congeals a little bit more. And we're going to put on, to make it really festive, I have pomegranate seeds. You can buy at the store, you can harvest them yourself. And you're going to cover this in those pomegranate seeds that are going to tie in with the wine and the colors of the season. So there's those. The red, and then a little bit of parsley, simple, gives it that nice freshness, and gives it that Christmassy color. And that's how it would look. If you happen to have our Sonoma Coast wine, even if it's a newer vintage or older vintage, it works fine. If not, you can order it from the winery. We have this recipe online, as well as a lot of other ones that are perfectly paired with different dishes and different wines. So we have a sip of wine, and when we dish it up, it's going to easily feed 8, and you put a little bit there on the side of the plate, and this is what it looks like. Nice red, green, steaming, delicious side dish.